What does writing class-based code in Unity mean, and why it is useful? Let me explain with an example. Imagine you need to manage a large number of items in your game, such as shop item, card characters, or various buildings. Instead of creating separate scripts for each item, you want to handle everything in a single script. A class-based script acts like a template. It allows you to easily create and manage multiple items and access them from anywhere in your project. Class-based scripts have many applications and are essential for efficient game development. Let's dive into a practical example. Suppose you wanted to create multiple character cards, each with an image, a star rating, a name, a level, and a type. First, create a script to manage these cards. Attach the script to one of your cards. In the script, define the properties you want each card to have. For my card, I'll include a text component for the name, an image for the character's artwork, a game object array for the stars, a text component for the level, and an image for the character's type. After defining the card's properties, open Unity. Assign each object to its corresponding variable in the script. Name to name, image to image, stars to stars array, level to level, and type to type. Remove any extra card objects, as we only need one. Then create a folder called prefabs and convert your card into a prefab. Now for the main part, create a new script and an object with any name, like Game Manager. If you name it Game Manager, its icon will change to a gear in Unity. To define a class, start by writing serializable in square brackets. Below that, write public class followed by the class name. If you don't include serializable, public variables in the class won't appear in the Unity inspector. Adding serializable ensures they're visible. Inside the class, define the properties each card should have: a string for the name, an integer for the level, an integer for the number of stars, and a sprite for the avatar. To make you familiar with enums, I define the last property as an enum. Write public enum type in braces, snipe, defense, attack to represent the character's type. Below that, add public type character type to store the character's type. Now that the class is defined, create a list to store multiple instances of this class. At the top of the script, write public list all characters, characters list to hold all characters. In Unity, you'll see the characters list in the inspector. You can add as many characters as you want by clicking the plus button. Let's fill out one element together. Set the name, level, star count, character image, and type. That's one element complete. How do we generate characters based on the list specifications? First, define a public game object variable called prefab to store the card prefab. Create a method called makeCharacters. Inside it, use a for loop to iterate through the list length. Generate cards based on the number of elements in the list. If you are unfamiliar with loops or arrays, check out my video on the channel for a detailed explanation. Define a game object called character and use instantiate command to create prefabs. The parameters are the prefab object, position, rotation, and parent object, in my case, the content. Now configure the instantiated object. Use character.getComponent script name to access the script attached to the prefab. Assign the component's properties to match the list's elements. For example, set character.name to characters list, I in brackets, .name. Repeat this for the level property. For stars, since they're objects that enable based on the star count, use another for loop inside the current one. Change the inner loops variable to b to avoid conflicts with I. Enable the star at index b in the stars array. This way, the number of stars enabled match the star count in the list. For example, if the count is 3, 3 stars will appear. Next, set character's image. Character.image equals characters list I.avatar. Finally, handle the character type. Since we have 3 enum values, we'll use 3 different icons. At the top of the script, define 3 sprite variables for the type icons. In the for loop, check the character's type. If characters list i.characterType equals snipe, set characters.type image to a snipe icon. Repeat for the other types. Do the same for the defense and attack types. Done. Now, call the makeCharacters method in the start function. Back in Unity, remove the test character, then assign the necessary elements to the game manager. The card prefab, the parent content, and the type icons. Add another character to the list in the inspector. Since we are enabling stars dynamically, go to the prefab and disable our stars by default. Let's test it. When you press play, the characters will generate with the specifications defined in the list. Now you can use this class-based system in any part of your code. Class-based scripts are versatile and require some game development experience, but once mastered, they're incredibly powerful. I know, this was complex, so rewatch this video, practice, and experiment. Thanks for watching and have a great day!